Gosh, for once, can't we just enjoy the show? Is that you
No.
toadying up the whole thing?
No, we cannot, Dan Goodsell.
Hey, watch it! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch it! With Dan and Tony! It's like watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hey Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
On this show, we watch a movie, and sometimes we watch a movie that came out within the current memory or current times.
Current memory. My memory, very short. So I'm not sure this qualifies. Also, this technically came out in 23.
What? What are you talking about?
So it premiered at some film festival. I don't remember which one in 2023. Then it got its release later because someone picked it up. I should have looked all this up, but yeah. So it premiered 2 years ago, got distribution last year or something, and then finally has been released on the home videos.
Okay, Tony, tell us what movie this is.
Well, here let's set the stage. I'll tell a tale. So I don't like Finn Wolfhard, and then it turns out he wrote and co-wrote and co-directed, I think, and co-starred in a movie. And I was like, well, I have to watch this movie at some point, and I knew it was going to make me mad, so I feel like we should do it for this podcast. I didn't say the name of it, did I?
No.
And so the movie is Hell of a Summer. I don't know, is it a parody? It's not really a parody, but it's a slasher of sorts.
It's kind of like what Scream wanted to do, which was...
It wants to be self-referential and like,
disassemble the concepts, but it doesn't disassemble any concepts. No. It doesn't posit any new concepts.
No.
It does not have any thrills. It does not have any chills.
It did have a couple of laughs. For me, at least.
There's some jokes in it, but they're not. I would say they're not supported, because what they'll do is they'll sort of throw a joke and then drift into something else. And so, jokes, comedy has to be built, right? For it to really, for something to be comedic. And I watched the first 9 minutes of Hard Eyes, which is also...
Oh, yes.
And you were just like, you compare Hard Eyes to this movie, and you're like, well, Hard Eyes has blood, has guts, also looks like it's skewering the thing. Also, you're like, okay, I think they're going to be making fun of a thing. It sets you up. And this movie is sort of a tepid slasher camp movie, character study thing.
Yeah, okay, sure. I will say, I'm going to say two things.
Say two things.
Number one, I liked this movie way more than I thought I was gonna. So that's great for the movie.
Yes.
I still don't. It's not a good movie, I don't think.
No.
But I liked it way more than I thought I was gonna. I went in with a real bad attitude. I was like, and by the end, I was like, okay. I enjoyed parts of it, so I didn't hate this movie like I thought I was going to. What I do want to say is one of the guys, I think his name is Billy Brick.
Who did he
think
play?
This is the guy. I tried. Well, he's the guy that's obsessed with the killings happening due to hotness, and he's upset that he didn't get killed first. That guy,
Bobby. The most probably the most interesting character,
without a doubt, for me. Yes,
he's almost a developed character. Almost.
I think he does his best because if you look at all the characters, right, there aren't really characters, in my opinion, except for him and the other lead guy.
The main guy, yeah.
Yes, those are the only two people with like somewhat defined characters, and I think it comes down to the actor. Like, I think he made a choice, and I think he stuck to it. And I think he's very funny. When they give him decent lines, he delivers them really well. And there are some people in this movie, Finn Wolfhard, that can't deliver a line, even if it's written by him. which we'll talk about later. But this kid was great. I loved him a lot, and he was a real standout for me. So before I get mad and yell at the movie, I just want to say he was wonderful.
Yeah, and that's why this movie kind of, it has two things. It has that going for it, where you have a couple of characters, and I think all the actors, everybody looks different. Everybody sort of brings a real energy to it, and it kind of feels it feels not real, but it feels like a real movie in terms of the characters doing things. Their arcs are not properly defined.
Sure.
And so a lot of times you're sort of left going like, well, okay, And the other thing is, you can sort of say this, it's shot really well, right? In some ways,
for sure.
There's an expense to the way the movie looks,
especially for the fact that it was made on $3 million. Is that what it was?
For $3 million.
I think that's what the reported budget is. I will look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was like super cheap.
Okay, well, whoever the cinematographer was, they should.
Yeah, it's a reported budget of $3 million, which is it's insane if you think about it. Like, compared to a lot of things we watch. In the Lost Lands that we just talked about, shot for like $100 million or something. I don't know what it is, but $3 million, wonderful.
Whoever's shooting this, lighting this, doing the whole thing,
work forever.
all night shots. Everything's at night.
Yeah, which is expensive to shoot. You have to light the outdoors. I don't know if you guys have ever shot outside at night. You literally have to make light in the night, and that is not cheap. You got to get generators. You got to get huge lights that light forever, but not so much that it looks like daylight. It's tough. I can't do it. I've tried.
There's a few directing things that were problematic just from a standpoint.
Probably, just throwing out that probably all Finn's decisions, all the ones that were...
You kind of feel there's like two or three things I'm gonna bring up that you're just kind of like, oh, they did not have coverage. They did not know how to shoot this. They did not figure it out beforehand, and they got there and then they shot it, and then they were like, well, this
is what we got.
$3 million. That's what we got.
Listen,
that's cut it together. Right? Try to make it make sense.
I don't know how long their shoot was, but for $3 million, it's not very long, right? So you get probably 2-3 takes at a thing, and then you're like, we got to move on, or we're not going to finish this movie. We got to go. I've been in those situations. It's not fun, but you make it work. It's an adventure, and then you see what you see at the end of the movie.
You have to imagine the editor was sitting there going like, what the fuck were they doing?
How do I make this work?
How am I supposed to make sense of this? Can we? And I don't even know how much ADR this movie had, because there was probably some things where you could ADR in some stuff and fix some little things, and it doesn't feel like they did.
Yeah, definitely not. Again, that's an extra expense in post, because once you wrap that movie, you're like, well, all of our money's gone. We can try to go get more funding to fix things in post, but it's all expensive, and for $3 million, that doesn't go very far in this industry. But I honestly, great job.
And they're not worried about us assholes that are watching it and being like, oh, not in tisk tisk. You know what?
I think Finn's worried. Okay, he feels like the kind of guy that would be worried about us.
Based on the character he plays, I have the feeling he takes it very easy and is like, yeah, whatever. Sure.
The kid's rich. Everybody loves him. He's having a great life. He doesn't have to do anything for the next 40 years.
So let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Hell of a Summer. Just realized today why it's called that. 2025 hour.
Wait, are you not going to explain
minutes. It? Well, I'll explain it when I get to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, you brought it up. I was waiting for an explanation because I don't know the answer.
Yeah, you will when I explain it to you.
Okay.
We set up. We have a campfire. We have a dude tuning his guitar. There's bugs getting zapped, zapping bugs. He's a beard guy. Then there's a blonde lady. Then they sort of sing he sings the Camp Pineway song, which is where we're at. They're at Camp Pineway. We're going to find out that these are the two owners / people that run it.
Jack and Diane. What were their names?
No clue. I did not.
They do say it because the Jason guy says it multiple times, like so-and-so aren't here yet.
Yeah.
Never remembered.
I just didn't write it down.
Yeah, that's fair.
He goes to get more beers. We have the shaky cam, which is your classic view of the killer. He's gone. I guess he was killed with the guitar. I don't remember how he was killed with the guitar.
Well, because you don't know how he was killed with a guitar because they don't show it.
Tony's
it's
angry.
Your open. Well, listen, I understand, and we'll talk about it later. I understand why we don't see a couple of deaths. It makes sense. Yeah. But if you're going to open your movie, your horror movie, your big opening, your Drew Barrymore moment, if we're going with the Scream thing, I gotta see something. Okay, I can't not see this death. All of a sudden, you cut away to the lady, and then she walks over, and he's got a guitar through his neck, which is cool death. I would love to watch that happen. And you're just like, oh, look, it already happened, and then we're out. Let's go on with the movie.
$3 million.
I don't care. You spend money on that opening shot. This is what's supposed to make me stay in the movie theater.
Yeah.
If I watch this movie, I'm like, I'm done. I'm bored. This is a dumb movie.
Lady runs for the car, gets in the car, and is like looking out at the shot of the forest, the headlights beaming, and you're like, I don't see anything. They cut back to her. She's still looking. Show it again. I don't see anything. Cut back to her again. She falls forward.
Slides off the knife. Yeah.
Slides off the knife. She's stabbed through the back of the head. Great.
Yes, that
10
was
out
awesome.
of 10. Just like
that was cool.
I was surprised.
If you showed me him getting killed with a guitar and then cap it off with a very clever death. So you have like a nice, gory, classic death and then a nice, clever subversion death. I'm in. I'm like, okay, you know what you're doing. Let's do this thing. And we're halfway there. We're halfway there.
Guy in the back seat wearing a devil mask.
Yeah.
What's the title of the movie?
Oh, Hell of a Summer. It's because he's from hell.
He's wearing a devil mask.
Is from hell.
You gotta cue us up on that a little more somehow.
Yeah, something.
They did not cue us up on that at all.
Also,
you didn't think you missed it.
Never even crossed my mind.
I missed it.
Which is interesting. Yeah, well, if Dan missed it, it's my thing is like,
I should get it at the end.
For sure. We should all get it at the end, but they never do anything about it.
The bad guys should be Satanists or something like that.
Something, because here's the thing, a devil mask, why? What does it have to do with anything?
It does not, and that's kind of the major problem with this movie is what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing
at all.
When we do find out why spoilers, when we do find out why it happened, we're underwhelmed. We're like, oh, that's what who cares?
Yeah, real silly.
Yeah.
Real silly. I don't know. I'm not saying it has to mean something, right? Like the ghost face doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
But it's iconic. Like a devil mask is just so generic to me. And also that TV show used a devil mask for their kills too. What was that show? They follow like a sorority, and Glenn Powell's in it. God, I love that guy. He's great. I'll look up the name of it, but you keep going.
Well, in Scream, it's a plastic mask. It feels like something somebody just bought at the Halloween store, right?
Because they did. Like, that's the whole point. And then in the sequels, other people, even in the first one, they have that costume and they're running around the school like, we're having a good time. People are getting murdered, which is wonderfully fucked up. But like that's the whole thing. It's like it's just a thing they stole. And same with Michael grabs his mask from a convenience store or whatever. Like a devil mask is just, I don't know. It's just so weird to me. It's just why is this here? What are we doing?
You need to have characters explain things, or we come to understand things, right?
Yes,
and that has to be part of it. This thing is. They're trying to set it up that it was a satanic cult that did all this. And then we find out that it wasn't a satanic cult. It was just these people playing at it, or it is a satanic, unless you're going to have like whatever that one, what's it called? The one where what's her name? And the guy are out in the cabin sort of away from things. And then like the three people show up wearing the masks.
The home invasion. That's my wife's favorite movie.
I don't think Shannon can watch that one because
I can't.
It's so terrifying.
I have a real problem with like home invasion movies that I'm like, oh, that probably really happens. Like that's definitely something that absolutely happens. Freaks me out. Yeah, I can't do it.
That's your
The
wife's,
Strangers.
The Strangers. That's your wife's favorite movie.
She loves The Strangers, loves it. And I'm like, it depresses me. It's not like I don't get scared. I get sad because I'm like, these people are just trying to live their lives and they're getting murdered. People. Yeah, I don't know. It bums me out. I can't handle them. That just makes me sad. I like to watch horror movies and be like, yeah, this is fun. Murder these fuckers. Yeah, those movies just make me sad. Yeah.
And that's the other thing is we have the movies where, you know, teenagers are punished for having sex. Okay, you're having sex. Now you're going to die.
That's right. And maybe that's a jealousy thing for me, you know, because I didn't get to do it when I was a teenager. But yeah, they should die. Get rid of them.
So Devil Mask, Hell of a Summer. Boom, we have the titles. We have
Scream Queens, by the way. I did look it up. The name of the show is Scream Queens, and they also use a devil mask costume as their killer. And that is a show that's like poking fun at the horror industry. So you got to do something different.
Yeah. Our boy, Jason, his name is Jason. Right, Jason?
Yeah, for sure. The camp leader. Jason
is a 24-year-old. He's avoiding an internship, going back to this camp that he loves. It's probably after his, this is like he has grown maybe too old for doing this. Camp Pineway, he's nostalgic. And, your mom is like, you should think about your future and becoming a lawyer. But no, this is his place. This is his comfort zone.
That's right. I love that.
This kid's good. He's gonna have plenty of work.
He's already had plenty of work.
Oh, has he?
And he's so weird in some stuff, but in this he's like actually somewhat human, which I appreciate because he's in this like the woman in the window across the street or something. And he just plays like the weirdest guy you're ever gonna meet. And it was just like, is this guy not human? But this balances that out a little bit, which I appreciate. Yeah.
Now we have your boy Finn Wolfhard, who's playing Chris, and his boy Bobby, who's wearing the puka shells. At first, I thought Bobby was in love with Chris, but that's not the case.
It might still be the case.
It's not the case.
Are you sure? Because
I think
at one point, sorry.
I think Bobby went with the girl who ends up with Chris. Initially, there's
a line in the movie where Bobby is like, "You don't deserve him, and I don't deserve him."
Shannon, I think Shannon's the girl,
which is the girl that Finn is interested in. So I still think that there's an element of that.
Yeah, so you're not quite sure if it's hero worship or he's in love with him or...
Yeah, and you know why it's very, very unclear is because Finn actually isn't in the movie as much as anyone else. So his character is, to me, the least developed. But also, as the editor, I would have cut him out of everything because he's also the worst actor in this movie. Do we agree on that?
I mean, he doesn't do anything. He has one.
But it's his movie, Dan. It's his movie, so he should be doing something.
I think the idea is he's like, this is an ensemble, guys, but he should have a character.
Sure, yeah, he should have a character, and he should play the character, and he should land the jokes that he writes for himself, which he does not. He does not deliver the jokes correctly. Please, am I being too harsh on Finn? Because I didn't laugh a single time at his jokes. I don't feel like he has comedic timing on any level.
I think you're being harsh on him, but he did not exist in the movie, So what you're doing is you're looking at what little he did and saying it's terrible. I'm saying
he wasn't given enough.
He just didn't really play a part in the movie.
But I'm gonna jump ahead just a touch, just a little bit. There's a moment later in the film where their tires have been slashed when they're trying to escape, and they all run out. And Finn's character used his stepdad's car, and he goes, "Oh fuck, Dale just got these replaced," or something like that.
Yeah,
which is like could be a very funny line because you're life and death stakes, and the first thing you think about is like, oh, my stepdad's going to kill me. That line should make me laugh. Instead, it did not make me laugh, and he wrote it.
Well,
right?
your point being is we should have set up from minute one that it was Dale's car.
He should be obsessed with Dale, like everything
or whatever.
Yeah, he should have something. Anyhow, but here's why. The other guy that wrote and direct is the Bobby guy, right?
I have no idea.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure it's the Bobby guy. And that's why his character bothers me so much, because the other guy that wrote and directed has a great character in this movie.
Yeah. Well,
it's Billy. It's this Billy Brick. I feel like I'm saying the name. Billy Brick and Finn wrote and directed it together.
Oh.
So Bobby and Finn's character, what is his name? Chris, okay, are the two people that wrote and directed this film. And there is a stark contrast in the level of character work, acting ability, jokes. It's so apparent to me that one of them can do stuff and one of them can't.
Well, they should not have played the two roles together, first of all. That's a huge mistake.
Sure.
They should have played, and I think that's what part of the frisson of the movie is that the Jason character, who's your protagonist, and Bobby, who is your sort of sub-protagonist, he's sort of your B plot.
Yes.
And it just, horror movies can't really afford to have another character that's a full B plot.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I mean, this movie's an hour and 28 minutes, so that means an hour and 20.
Yeah.
And we're out. So, I mean, this movie, and it has a lot of setup.
It does. It does have a lot. Maybe too much. I don't know. Yeah,
it's a lot of setup. And then when things get rolling, they roll very quickly and don't necessarily go anywhere exactly. I don't know. We don't know what time period this is. We find out eventually that it's now, I think.
Yeah, only because the phones and like social media is like a big thing. So, I mean, it could be anywhere in the last 10 years, I guess. But in the beginning, there are moments where I'm like, is this the 80s? Is this a throwback to Friday the 13th, like 1984? I'm a little confused.
Yeah. So you need to tell us that up front, what year it is. Just to make things easier on us, so we're not confused. Boom, we get there. It's counselor weekend, so we're not going to have any kids. So the counselors are just going to do their counseling. We meet Demi, who has giant white boots and lots of luggage, which our boy Jason has to bring in. There are cell phones. He makes an E-way joke. I think Jason makes the E-way joke. I don't know what the E-way joke was, but it was
I don't remember it. I'm sure it's great.
We meet Ezra, the theater guy. Here comes Jason. He's coming back. I wrote Field of Death. Oh, Ezra's working on his Field of Death script, which never comes back.
Nope, not a part of this movie at all.
Yeah, so this character Ezra, very lost, doesn't ever have much of anything to do. I don't think.
I think he has my favorite line of the movie.
He's got a good joke later. Yeah,
I think it's him. It makes sense. I wrote down the line, but don't totally remember it. It's a theater joke, so I assume he's the one that throws it out. But
Shannon is the girl that's into Chris and Bobby. Here they come. Then there's Jean Short Girl, who is Claire. Claire's into Jason. Jason's into Claire's, but neither of them wants to sort of admit it.
Yeah.
And then he helps her get into her cabin by moving the door so it isn't locked. That never comes back into play.
Yeah, other than like he knows the camp really well. I think maybe that's the.
Yeah. John and Kathy are the people who run the place. And we find out that Claire had a boyfriend, but it fell apart. And so Jason was initially like, oh my God. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm still in.
Still in, baby. I mean, what would have been fun is if like during a chase scene, they brought back that door thing.
Yeah. There's all
That'd have
stuff
been
you
fun.
could do. There's
Yeah.
a note from John and Kathy saying, we're not going to be there yet. Just go on without us. We meet Millie, Miley, who is a redhead vegetarian. And then this other
Oh, right.
brunette.
She's vegan.
Oh, yeah.
Dan. They make a point of saying it's different later.
It's the same thing.
That she's not vegetarian.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing, Dan.
Pretty much the same thing.
You just upset 30% of our audience.
Same thing. There's a brunette goth girl named Noelle who's also psychic. And then this guy, Ari, who's a filmmaker, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so that's everybody.
Just a hodgepodge of characters here.
Sorry, and then there's Mike, who is the sportsman.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Stupid tough guy. They put their phones in a basket because because it's camp time. No phones.
Camp time, no phones. I love that.
We have a little bow and arrow practice where Claire is bad at bow and arrow, and then Jason gives her, some tutelage.
But a non-sexy. This is a scene I really liked. So I don't know who it is down the way, but someone further down out of our side of these two characters is also doing an archery lesson, and he's like doing the sexy thing where he's like wrapped around her and like helping her pull back. And Claire,
yeah,
wants Jason to do that, so she's like, "Oh, you teach me how to do it," and then
she does not say it like that.
No, she doesn't. But that's what that's in her mind. She's like, "Oh, touch me and show me how to do it." And Jason like takes 2 steps back and like kneels down, and he's like, "Okay, now I need you to do this." And the look of disappointment on her face is really great. It's a nice little scene. It shows some character work. It's nice to have that every once in a while in this movie.
So then she gets a little better, and then he steps up, and shows that he is very proficient with the bow.
Yeah, super good at it.
And then he has a great line. She's sort of like, why are the John and Kathy not here? And Jason's like, well, I think maybe they're not here because they're testing me to see if I'm ready to take over this responsibility. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
all right, that sounds good.
It's nice. Yeah, he's delusional. I love it.
And that's kind of why this thing doesn't really work. Is the terrible people, which is sort of everybody else, but sort of not everybody else. They don't really have that much disdain for him. They just don't register his existence, which is
quite literally. The Bobby is like, I don't know who you are. We've been going to camp for 6 years together. I don't know who you are.
Yeah. So you needed to have some of the characters have actual disdain for him.
Sure.
So that you really set up that imbalance, I think. Yeah. He's grilling burgers. Miley demands a vegan one. Bobby gets a vegan one. He's putting the moves on her. It does not go well.
This is where you get the differentiation between vegetarian and vegan, because he says vegetarian at first and she's like, well, I'm vegan. He's like, you didn't let me finish. Vegetarian for 2 years, vegan for 18 months, which is like, it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Okay, well, I'll let him know.
He had some good jokes. I guarantee you, he wrote all of his own stuff.
Oh, he totally
because
did.
He's the only character that has like jokes, real, actual jokes.
But I think because you sort of shift into things so much, he disappears and he doesn't ever get to roll it.
Yes, 100%.
It's just like seen and gone.
Yeah.
Grilling the burgers. The movie guy has a nut allergy and then loses his mind talking about social anxiety.
Yeah, what a weird. And do you get the feeling, and this, maybe I'm way off on this, but did you get the feeling that maybe Finn and Billy don't like their generation? Because it feels like there are like the The vegan lady is kind of made fun of. This guy is like the most annoying person where it's like, I've got a nut allergy. Socially, people with nut allergies are more socially awkward or something like that. It just feels like they're kind of poking fun at, which is fine. I don't think it's bad. I agree. I just thought it was interesting that the things that they chose to make fun of were like, I don't know, not necessarily the things that I would have chose to make fun of, They
don't go hard enough.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get that.
Because everything feels sort of, we sort of set up this sort of level where it's like, well, they're kind of quirky, but they're also normally grounded people with a little bit quirky. Sure. Nobody's like, you think of Breakfast Club. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Of course I remember that movie.
Ali Sheedy's character is like, she stuffs her head in a bag. She puts jelly beans on a peanut butter sandwich. And, you're like, this girl's weird.
Sure. Yeah.
It turns out she's not that weird, but,
that's character development for her.
Yes. We learn who she really is. All these characters all seem like, well, I'm kind of quirky. Yeah, I'm a little bit quirky. Yeah, I'm okay.
Sure.
I'm quirky.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I get it.
Nobody's swinging for the fences except the Bobby guy who's trying to get going, but everything else sort of
pulls him back down.
Right, back down to nice, nothing's, nobody gets bullied. Jason never gets bullied in here.
Yeah, which is a little weird, right?
Bullying is a key component to all these kind of movies. I don't know. Okay, boom. Somebody mentions Ryan Gosling, so you're like, well, we're in a world that exists with Ryan Gosling.
Every world that exists should have a Ryan Gosling.
Night falls, Demi is brushing her hair, and then she gets murdered. Blood splattering everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't see it. You don't see it. And at first I was like, oh, God, is this whole movie going to be off-screen deaths? Because I'm going to lose my shit.
Now, did you suspect anything when we didn't see her death?
I honestly didn't. No, because, well, you know what? Maybe this is proving me wrong because they did set me up because I was like, oh, great. This is just a low-budget piece of shit where all the deaths are going to be off-screen because we don't have the effects department on set. So maybe that was their plan all along was you don't show the first death because it sets up the fact that we're not going to show the next couple.
We're doing the campfire. Mark is talking about knocking out a cop, which was one of those weird scenes.
It's a weird through line.
You don't understand what it is. You're like,
nope.
Did he really do it? Did he not do it? What does it mean?
He didn't, right? Like he definitely didn't do it, but I don't know. It's weird because this is the thing that they kind of make a through line where he talks about this a couple times and then at the end of the movie how he saves himself is using the same line from that story, which is really? I'm a liar. Yeah.
Oh.
Because I don't understand the whole story, but the story ends with the cop says something and I said I'm a liar. And then I roundhouse kicked him in the face or something like that. And then at the end, when he's about to die, when he's getting brutally murdered, he's like, oh, one more thing. I'm a liar. And then jabs the knife into the guy's neck or whatever.
Bobby does. Bobby uses his line against him?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I missed all of that.
It happened, Dan.
This Mike character, I was like watching that story and I'm like, I don't understand anything that's happening with this.
Sure.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't tell me about the character.
I feel like they wrote it backwards where they were like, this would be a fun way to end the movie, but let's make some sort of a story that they can come from. I don't know, because that's what happens. He uses the line and then stabs Mike in the neck. That's all I got.
Okay. Jason's in his cabin looking at a photo. Claire jump scares him, and I was like, oh, maybe Claire's the killer. But they never set it up that we think anybody that's still alive can be the killer.
Right. So in a movie like this, we shouldn't know. We should suspect everyone. We shouldn't suspect no one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, there was never a moment where I thought, oh, it's Mike and Demi.
Yeah.
But there was also never a moment where I was like, it's one of these kids. I was like, I have no idea who the killer is, but I'm also not that interested. Like, I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm just like, what's happening? I don't know what's going on. I just assumed that it was the first two people, and, you know, I don't know, they faked their own deaths somehow, but, you know, that would be weird.
Wait, so you did figure that out very early?
No. I'm saying the people that own the camp.
Oh, I see. Yes.
I was like, well, maybe it's them, but that would be weird because we saw them die.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I just had there was never a moment where I'm like, oh shit, it's this person. Oh, it's this person. Oh, it's this person. You know? They should
have, you have to pick that person who you're going to try to, in each scene, you have to understand who it is you're trying to pin it on. Right?
Yeah.
And Claire, this would have been a great scene for Claire, for you to pin it on Claire.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because she comes in there and it's like, why aren't you at the campfire? And he's like, oh, they don't want me there. And then she's like, fuck that. We're going to go. And she's like, they're insufferable. And I'm like, well, this is the point where they need to, I mean, I wasn't thinking this during the movie, but now she should have then picked up a knife and gone, they're insufferable. Bang. And you're like, oh, she killed Demi. Fuck Demi. You know, because Demi was a bitch to Jason at the beginning. Great. I'm like, oh, Claire. But every time we see Claire, she is just like puppy dog eyes towards Jason, sort of.
Which is kind of weird. But also, not to bring it back to Scream, not everything needs to be Scream. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is the entire movie of Scream is them making fun of the fact that everyone needs to be a suspect, right? Yeah. Like they have that conversation. Everyone's a suspect. That's the whole point. Everyone should be suspect in this movie. It doesn't, maybe not Jason, right? Like who everyone thinks is the killer is the one person we should be like, no, we know he's not the killer. So who is the killer? Could be this person because of this person because of this. Like that's why Scream makes fun of that, because that's a trope that you need to use to make your movie effective.
You're trying to make us afraid for these people and not once we're off balance, then you can play with us.
Exactly.
Yeah. I never felt off balance. I was just
I felt a little bored, but never off balance.
Shannon and Chris are making out. And then he's like, don't tell Bobby about this. I think he said that. Or did he say tell Bobby about this?
Or someone was like, are you going to tell Bobby? And they're like, no, I won't. And it's just, this triangle never really made sense to me. I still don't really know which direction the arrows go in the triangle.
Yeah. It just seems like they're in a relationship and it's okay. And I don't think anybody really cares. You don't think Bobby's going to freak out about it?
I don't think so either. He kind of knows.
Because if he's going to freak out about it, you have to set that up in the car that Bobby's like,
or let him freak out about it.
Chris, this is our time together. Okay.
Right. Sure. Yeah. That's nice.
Fuck the girls. This is the bros before hoes. You know, you gotta everything, just like in comedy, you have to do this. You have to set everything up so that when it happens, we feel satisfied. He's like, oh yeah, oh no, oh he's making out with Shannon. This is gonna be bad. Oh, this is gonna be bad when Bobby hears about it. But
it's not bad.
Bobby's like, meh, I guess.
Yeah, like we know it's not bad, and then it's not bad, and so what's the point? What's the point of any of it?
Movies are heightened. Bobby's gonna jump the bonfire with his bike. He sets it up, and then
I also like this scene.
Bobby, and then somebody calls him a pussy.
Yeah,
who calls him a pussy? Maybe Ari does. Maybe the movie guy.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. That sounds right. Yeah,
and then he's like, no, oh, forget it. No, I'm not doing it.
No, you ruined it. You can't call me a pussy. You ruined it. I'm done. Yeah. It was, I really liked it. I thought that was nice because, he never really wanted to do it, right? It's a nice character moment where he finds that excuse and he's like, oh, thank God I don't have to do it. I'm just going to pretend like this really upset me and walk away. It's nice.
Okay. So he does not make the jump. We're like, okay. The vegan has gone to the kitchen because she has to have a burger. Almost. There's a door noise.
Yeah, what is the point?
Because
why?
all vegans really want to just have a burger.
Yeah, I don't think that that's right. So, like, this joke doesn't land for me because that's not true. You know?
I didn't drink when I was, high school or even in college.
Sure.
I never really drank.
I still don't drink, yeah.
You still don't drink. Let's see if you've had a similar thing. People that drink always wanted to make you drink.
Oh, yeah, constantly. All the time. And they're like, what do you mean you don't want one? It's like, I don't care. It tastes like shit. There's no reason for me to put that in my mouth. I don't understand. Like, I don't care.
Snickers bar?
And then they get very upset.
They get very upset. And they, and so just having the vegan immediately, I need a burger. It's like,
yeah.
Well, if she's a vegan, she's a vegan. Like, let the characters be the characters.
It's just a bad joke. It's a joke from like 1995 when veganism was new and everyone's like, oh, vegan. Swing and a miss, boys. Swing and a miss.
So here comes there's a door noise. Here's the devil mask. And then there was a it's beyond meat joke. I don't remember what that was.
Yeah, someone yelled it. I don't totally recall either. I don't think it was funny.
And she gets killed.
Yeah, now, okay. Again, you don't have to make so you have to like pick a lane, right?
Yeah.
Because in a little bit, we're going to get to the peanut butter death.
Oh, that was bad.
What do you mean by bad? You didn't like it?
No.
So that made me laugh.
Okay.
Like, because it's so stupid. And you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, you're going to use the peanut butter because he's allergic. That's silly. But that doesn't make sense to me in the same movie as when you're making fun of a vegan for wanting a burger and not killing her with something related to that.
Yes. I mean, if
maybe grill her face. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but you have to pick a lane. Pick a lane. You're either going to make silly deaths that are like, I don't know.
Where's the joke coming from? Right.
Sure.
And
yes,
the joke of this thing is that she's trying to eat a real burger, which doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
As opposed to him punishing her for being a vegan. Like,
right,
we
exactly.
would have liked that. We would have been like,
yes.
You're a vegan. Okay, now you're going to get punished for that.
Because the movie clearly takes, not that this is, but like an anti-vegan stance, right? Like, yes. In a way, the veganism is used as a negative joke, right? Like, we don't like vegans. Vegans are dumb. Oh, look at this vegan who wants meat and, whatever. If you're already taking that stance, punish her for being vegan. This guy who complained about his nut allergy and was a little bitch about it, punish him for his nut allergy. Like, that's fun. That's a fun death to me.
Yeah.
And then you just kill her regular style. Like, why? Are you just lazy? I don't know.
Then we have Mike. He gets grabbed by the devil mask and I guess killed.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Mike's dead. So Mike's dead. Vegan is dead. Demi is dead. At least 3 dead. Okay. Shannon and Chris. We find out that Chris performed oral sex on Shannon during the summer, and so they're happy.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
No, it's a funny scene because they play it between the two different. The boys are in one cabin, the girls in the other, and they're both talking about it. Which is like an age-old joke of men and women communicating differently, but it's done well. So I'm not mad about it, and it's it's funny. But here's why I hate it. So I wanted to say, they did it fine, and so I'm not mad. Here's why I hate it. Finn Wolfhard wrote this movie with his buddy. And here's Finn being like, yeah, I'm the greatest cunnilingus guy in the world. Like, I'm so good at going down on girls that I should do it all. I hated that he is the guy that is like, oh yeah, I'm so good in bed. I'm the best in bed, because it just made me gag. And I don't know if that's my anti-Finn coming out. But it's a little self-serving, and I did not enjoy it.
I think it's a little more virtue signaling than great bed, but whatever.
That's fair.
So Jason stops by Chris and Bobby's, and he's like, what are we going to do group activities? They're like, we don't care. Okay. Then he goes to Demi's, and he goes in, and he finds Demi's body, and he screams. He screams very funny. Then he runs to the rec room and tells everybody that Demi is dead, and they're the most, like, whatever.
This scene
it's really
could be
weird.
very, very funny.
Yeah.
This scene, like the idea of him panicking and everyone else thinking that he's just making it up, and like that's a fun dichotomy. It's done so jumbled that it never, like the two opposing sides never really solidified to me, so it doesn't land. But I like the idea. I think, a couple more rewrites, Finn, and this could have been a good scene. I do want to say this Jason guy, I love the way he runs in this scene. When he runs from cabin to cabin, he's going all out. Yeah. He's like Tom Cruise level of trying in this run. And I just really appreciate it. I feel like in movies, a lot of times we just kind of run, but he has this urgency, the panic in this run that I was like, good for you. Way to commit. That's all.
There it is. So they find out that the phones are gone, and then they start freaking out. They go there, they find that the body is gone, but there's lots of real blood, and then everybody really freaks out. They go to the cars, the flat tires.
Wait, sorry, real quick. There's an almost joke here as well that I almost liked, which is the goth psychic girl goes to test the blood.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she smells it or tastes it. I couldn't quite tell. And she goes, oh, no, this is Demi. And that there's a really good joke there that this movie didn't land. But again, like, it's the right idea. It's so close in some of these moments.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, the batteries are dead. The tires are flat. They can't get out. And so their plan is to go to one cabin and then write it out there.
Yeah, which is not a terrible idea. Yeah. Strength in numbers.
But Jason wants to go out and look for Mike and Miley because they're not there, I guess.
Yeah, because we haven't seen them. The group hasn't seen their bodies yet, so they think that they're still somewhere.
And there's a payphone, and there's a coin-operated payphone, so they're going to go to that. So they do a whole drawing of cards. Whoever gets the lowest cards has to go. There's a little bit of a funny bit in there.
Yeah.
And so it's Jason and Ari and Ezra. They go for the phone. Bobby left behind has bear spray, so he set that up. They have flashlights. Line's been cut. There's blood on the fridge. They open the fridge. Inside the fridge is Miley's head. They yell and run. Ari and Ezra go God only knows where. Jason goes back to the cabin.
Yeah.
And Bobby gets one of his better jokes. I should have packed my nunchucks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good joke.
It's a joke. You know what I mean? Like, he wrote himself some jokes. It's good for him. If they had also wrote other people jokes, this probably would be a pretty good movie.
He's just written everybody else jokes,
right? Like maybe he's a very selfish guy. I don't know. Maybe he just wrote, and Finn was like, "Hey, write me a joke," and he was like, "Nope, not gonna do it, Finn. I will not.
Just talk about sex. You're the sex guy. Talk about sex.
I'm a sex god. I'm Finn Wolfhard. All the ladies love me. Gag."
Yeah. Okay. What do they do next, Tony?
I have no idea. I should read you my notes, Dan. You would laugh. There are 7 of them.
That's do the Ouija board.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bobby's afraid of the spirits.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah. Give me the
Ouija boards.
Ouija boards.
Not that I don't believe.
Yes.
Let me be very clear. Generally, how a Ouija board works is somebody is moving the dial, right? Like, that's generally how they work.
The planchette.
Is that what that's called?
Yes.
You know the name of the moving glass eye thing? That's crazy.
Everyone knows it's called the planchette.
Not everybody. I've never even heard the word planchette. You know what I've never heard that before in my life. And I've done a lot of Ouija boards. Okay, Dan. My family used to do Ouija boards all the time. My mom's super into ghosts, by the way. I love it. Anyhow. But there's so many hands on this planchette that it's impossible for it to be moving on. You know what I mean? So, like, is there a ghost? Is that what we're trying to say? It's weird.
The other thing is that there's 6 hands on this thing, and you can't tell what it's saying or doing.
Yeah, we can't. They seem to be able to
They're
tell.
like, well, this means this. And you're like, well, wait, what's happening?
Are you sure? I can't. Move your head, guy. I can't see the board.
And that's my point about direction, is the way this is shot is terrible.
Sure.
And you don't get any information.
Yeah, 100%.
So they talk to Ezra. Who killed you? I don't know. They talked to.
I did like that it was is it an acronym? Is that what you call it?
Sure.
They just IDK or whatever, and I was like, that's funny.
That was good.
Yeah, that's good.
Although Ezra is not dead. Then they're like, Demi, who killed you? Then there's a scream, and Ezra returns, and he gets bear sprayed by Bobby right in the eyes.
Yeah. And then another joke that I like is he yells ghosts while he does it. He goes, ghost, and then sprays it in the face, which is funny on 2 levels, because if it's a ghost, it's not going to get hurt by bear spray. But I just, there are moments with him that I really enjoy. I'd like him to write a movie solo. I think we drop Finn, drop the dead weight, and let's try it again.
Let's do it, Bob. Okay, now we cut to Ari. He's tied up, so he's not dead. And then he says, fucking bitch. Because I think he knows it's a woman, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, okay. Didn't even register that, I don't think.
And then the bad guy dips the knife in peanut butter and then stabs him with peanut butter.
Yeah. You don't think it's funny?
It doesn't make any sense in the movie.
No, I agreed. I'm telling you, I agree with that. I wish that it did make sense in the movie, because I like that idea, especially with like a nice slow, like he brings the peanut butter over to him and Knight slowly uncovers it, dips the knife in there very slow. Like, I'm torturing you with peanut butter. I think that's a fun idea.
So as we're back at the cabin, I don't know. Yeah. Back at the cabin, Ezra's been crying. He's been blinded. He talks about how he'd run away to the theater. They figure out that the killer must be someone they know for some reason. And
yeah, I don't know.
They basically say it's Jason because he took the phones and he found Demi and he's old. So they're going to tie him up, and then we're going to torture him to find out where the phones are.
Yeah.
This is where you lost me. Like, the idea that you're going to torture someone based on almost nothing, and you're like, you're the killer, even though he wasn't out there. He was in the cabin with them. Oh, no, I guess he went out with them.
Yeah. But he also came back. It's all weird.
He came back almost instantly.
My thing is, like, why wouldn't he just bring them to the phones? Like, it should, at this point, people are dying. It should be one ass.
They think he's the killer. And so they're going to torture him.
But they're like, they were saying this in front of him, though.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to torture you until he tells where the phones are. That's the moment where he goes, well, yeah, they're just right there. Because 1, I'm not the killer. 2, I want to live and I want to escape this place. Let's find the phones.
He doesn't know where the phones are. He doesn't know where the phones are.
That doesn't make any sense. He took them.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Jason took the phones.
Yeah, but then wherever he put them, the bad guy took them.
Sure. No. Okay. I'm understanding that, but they are saying that he took the phones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
So if they torture him, they're like, show us where the phones are. He's like, I don't know where the phones are. Well, we're going to torture you, and then you're going to tell us. Well, then they're torturing him to get information he doesn't even have.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It's stupid. Yeah. No, we're in agreement that it's stupid, Dan.
Well, just like the idea that, the first thing they do in the cabin is go to the Ouija board. And then the second thing they're doing is figuring out random person is the bad person as opposed to someone out there killing people. And then we're going to torture you. But to torture you, they're going to leave. They tie him up. And then they all leave except Bobby.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah. It's just weird. So Claire goes and gets a fire extinguisher, comes back, knocks out Bobby, and saves Jason. And then as they're coming back to torture, Claire and Jason are running off. Actually, this is Finn Wolfhard's best bit. They're coming, and Finn Wolfhard has a whole tray of waters. And he's brought waters for everyone, and then he falls down, and all the waters break. And he's very distraught that he didn't get to serve.
And then they give him the button as well at the end of the scene. He's like, "I'll go get more." That's the end of it, which is just, it's funny, but it's also weird.
Don't he have to admit it was funny?
He's not funny. You know what? I guarantee you Billy wrote that bit.
Okay, so now we got 5 people in the cabin. 2 people, Jason and Claire, that are leaving, and they get to just have nice calm time as they walk away, debating whether or not they should go back. And, what are we supposed to do? And you're kind of like, who do they? I mean, I understand Jason owes an allegiance, but it is a little murky.
Yeah, I mean, they had to have hit. If we had hit him wanting to run the camp,
well, yeah,
and everyone kind of hating him. Like if we had hit that character stuff a little bit harder, the turn makes more sense when he's like, "I have to go back. This is my camp.
Yeah,
this is my camp. I need to save my people, even if they hate me."
Yeah, they need to hate him a little more so that it's more of a sacrifice him going back. Yeah. So they're just hanging out in the cabin talking about waiting. They're playing Jenga. And then they just arbitrarily decide to go look for the phones. Yeah. No, he hasn't decided to go. They're just talking about possibility of going back because they reach makeout point, which Claire recognizes Jason does not. And then we do a whole thing where he's like, "Oh, you've been here a lot." And then she's all like, "No." And then he's like, "Oh." And he's sort of freaking out that, she actually has an active relationship life and he does not.
Yeah.
And then the goth girl is in the craft room. She gets stabbed and then she says, "Finally." So you're like, oh, okay, she wants to die.
Yeah, what?
She's a goth person, so she's okay with just dying.
Right, but again, not really how that works. You know what I mean? And that's not something that has happened at all in the movie prior to this.
Yeah.
That line can be funny if she's obsessed with death.
You have to go much, your movie has to be much broader that a character is fine with themselves being murdered.
She likes Ouija boards, she wants to die. That's everyone who uses a Ouija board wants to die. That doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't make sense.
It's a lot of distance to climb. And then we have this weird scene where we're like, is the devil mask looking at itself in a mirror or are there 2 devil masks? And it is shot so weird.
So weird.
That you cannot tell, but then you're like, oh, there's 2 of them.
It's 2. I see.
And then you're like, it didn't need to be 2 at any point in the movie.
Nope. I mean, it usually is 2, though, in these types of movies. There's always like the leader. And that's the Scream formula, right?
But
there's always 2 killers.
But that's just Scream.
Right. Well, but, great movie to steal from.
I just had a problem with that it's 2 killers.
Also, Scream Queens, 2 devils. So maybe they just watched Scream Queens and were like, let's just make a movie that's kind of like this, but way worse.
So Chris is walking. I guess they're looking for the phones, and then he surprises Mike and Demi, who are making out. And they're all like, oh, we're found out. So we know.
I like this moment.
Yeah, I'm talking about it then.
Well, so Jason walks in on them and they're like, oh, shit. Now they know. And someone grabs a knife. And then Jason, to all of our surprise, is just thrilled that they're alive.
No, it's not Jason. It's Chris.
Wait, who is it?
It's Chris.
Is it Chris?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Abs 100%.
All right. Well, then Chris is excited that they're alive. I guess that does make sense because he is dumber. He is the dumb one of the group.
What I left off is that Jason, right before this, made the decision to go back to camp.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Anyhow, so then instead of being like, oh, you must be the killers, he's just excited that they're alive and they're confused. And it's like, it's a fun moment.
Yeah.
It's a fun moment. Yeah.
With Finn Wolfhard, actor.
Yeah, I mean, it's better if it's a Jason, which is how it goes in my head. So, there's that.
And then they have a little discussion that the plan is going to shit because they're the two killers. We're going to have to blame it on Jason.
Well, because Jason's already getting the credit, and Demi's mad because her whole point is she wanted to get the credit for it.
She wanted to get famous.
Right. So I'm confused. Is she trying to live through it and then go to prison, or is she trying to die here and live in infamy?
She wants to be the sole survivor.
So but it sounds like she wants credit for murdering people. Right?
I don't know.
Because she's mad that Jason's getting the credit for murdering people.
Well, if she was this is what I thought. She's going to pin it on Jason, right? But she's going to make sure everybody else gets killed except Jason, I think. And then she'll be the sole survivor. But my feeling was that she wanted to be the final girl. Right.
Which is the plot to Scream 4, by the way. Spoiler alerts for Scream 4. That's literally the plot to Scream 4, is that Sydney's niece or something is the murderer and does it so she can be the next Sydney Prescott, the next sole final girl.
That's what I took from it.
That's what they pivot to because she's mad that Jason is getting the credit for being the murderer. She's like, why do they think it's Jason? Why would they? He's ruining everything. And then Mike is like, hey, but we'll be the survivors. We'll be even more famous. So then they pivot to that. But originally, it seems like her plan was for everyone to know that she did it, which is very confusing to me. I don't know, Dan. It's not a good plan. That's all I'll say. I don't know.
It's not a good plan, and it's not a good premise. Sadly.
We shouldn't be this confused about this scene of the movie. You know what I mean?
No, it should make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So then they go back. Oh, and the plan is going to shit. We wanted to get famous. Young hot couple survives.
Yeah. So, that's the plan.
Okay. So they go back. Now they're with everybody, and they're like, let's make videos. Okay.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Jason climbs through the window and gets captured by Mike. Ezra's on the stage.
This is my favorite moment of the movie.
What happens in that? Ezra's
death.
Yeah. He breaks his leg. Oh, the bad guy comes over there, kicks him and breaks his leg, and then axes him to the head.
Now, I think this is Ezra.
Yeah.
I think. It could also be Finn, Chris. I honestly don't remember. Maybe you'll remember this. But someone sees the killer. It has to be Ezra.
It's Shannon.
Shannon sees the killer behind Ezra, right?
Yeah.
And she yells, she's like, look out, the killer's on your left. And Ezra shouts back, stage left.
Yeah.
And I fucking lost my mind. That if you're not in the theater, okay, the directions are different. We have stage left, stage right, which is different depending on which. It's like if I'm watching the play, it's different than if I'm in the play. So we use stage left, stage right, so the actors know which way we're talking about. Doesn't really matter. But no, Dan, see, the joke's funny though. Did you laugh at the joke? Don't pretend to sleep.
It was a good joke.
Okay, it's a good joke.
I didn't laugh, but it's a good joke.
All right, I laughed my ass off because you don't really hear a stage left joke all that often, and I was pretty excited about it.
So that was good. Shannon's in there. Chris and the devil. Oh, so the devil continues in the theater. Chris is hiding. Shannon goes and finds Bobby. Demi wakes up Jason and wants to know where Claire is. Then he starts yelling, "Help! Help! Help!" The devil is searching the prop area for Chris. Bobby lures the devil off, And then
And that's the moment when he goes in, right, to save Chris.
who? Bobby?
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby goes in to save Chris.
Yeah, so right
lures off
before
the
he
devil.
goes in is a really great scene between him and Shannon.
Yes.
Which is when he says something on the lines of "You don't deserve him, but I also don't deserve him." Something like
He does.
that. So
I think he says almost exactly that.
Yeah, the lines are confusing. I don't quite understand them. But my favorite part is he then is like doing his brave thing, which he did with jumping over the fire.
Yeah.
And as he was about to enter the door, she was like, "It's a suicide mission." And he stops. And he's like, "Why would you say that? I was trying to pump myself up for my big hero moment. Why would you say that?" And it was wonderful. It was really funny. It was really nice. I loved it.
He's in
a great scene.
He's in a different movie than the rest of them.
He is in a different movie, but it's weird because he wrote the movie. So like everyone should be in that movie. It's so weird.
He co-wrote the movie.
You're right. He co-wrote the movie, and I'm starting to believe that Finn wrote 90% of the movie, and he just wrote his own 10%. And he's like, "Well, I would like to do this movie differently," because his character is in a different movie, and that movie is great. I want that movie.
So Bobby goes in there and lures the devil off. Shannon goes in, and he's all like, "You came back for me. I love you." I wrote Claire,
which is weird.
Well, they're trying to do this whole bit where they're falling in love, but they're not really falling in love. They're just it's just speed where you can't really fall in love but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's all weird.
I wrote Claire hits Mike. When did she hit Mike? Why did she hit Mike? I don't know.
I didn't write that note down.
Then somebody says to Demi, "This isn't you. It's Mike." Oh, and then she goes crazy.
Jason says that as he's tied up.
Yeah, he's like, "Demi, this isn't you." And she's all like, "Yeah, Mike made me do this. Mike. It's all about Mike." She
plays this scene really well. Like that I'm crazy scene. It's nice. She did a good job.
Then we have the big, is this the whole? Oh, then Mike and Bobby are starting to fight in the cabin.
Yeah.
And then Demi gives us a little exposition to Jason tied up. "I wanted to kill you losers for 4 years. And now she's jealous that you'll be more famous than me." Claire comes back with the bow.
It's confusing.
Claire has the bow, and then Demi has the knife to Jason's throat. Bobby and Mike are fighting in the one cabin.
Yeah, different cabin. Yep, 2 different areas.
Then he sort of flashes back to the jump in the fire, and he looks at the fire. There's a fire raging with wood, and he's like, he reaches into the wood stove because he's going to pick up the flaming wood and use it as a weapon. And what happens, Mike? What happens, Tony?
Burns his hand, and he drops it and screams. Yeah, like it's great.
That was probably my favorite.
He's great
because he's
great in this movie.
It was a callback to the weird jumping the fire, and then reality instantly affects him
because he does the chant. He's like, Bobby does it himself, which is funny. Grabs it and he's like, "Oh, that's too hot. Nope, got to drop it." Screams it. It's great. It's a really nice moment.
Then Mike's beating him up, and then I guess Bobby's on the floor, and I guess Mike has a gigantic erection.
Yeah,
which they can't
made me laugh so hard.
They can't show us, but and they can't over-reference it. But you're like,
but they have a nice little conversation about it. And Mike apparently gets aroused by killing and then having sex afterwards. So it's not that he's enjoying killing him. So he's yelling at Bobby, and he's like, "This isn't for you, man. Look away." And I was fucking rolling. I'm telling this scene. This entire last act with Bobby is so good, and the rest of the movie is terrible, right? Like, if the movie was as good as these last 3 scenes with Bobby, this would be one of my favorite movies. I swear to God. It's really nice. And then he's like, "Yeah, this isn't for you. Have you ever had sex after killing someone? It's amazing." And
no, that's not what he says. What he says,
what does he say?
Exactly is, "Do you know how much better pussy is after killing someone?" And you're just like, oh man.
Do you know what Bobby says?
What does he say?
He asks, he goes, "No, is it better?" And that moment to me, he does.
Say,
and that moment is what drives that home to me.
Okay.
Like he breaks the I'm scared of dying to be like, no, is it better? And then goes back to being scared. And it's so good. It's lovely. It's wonderful. This scene's great.
And so I guess there's this pocket knife in a frame on the wall that's given as a prize, and it busts, and it's on the thing, and it also, I think Jason was always second place to getting the pocket knife, I think.
Yeah, but he's always second place in the archery thing, but that doesn't make sense to me as a gift for winning archery, a pocket knife. I don't understand, if I'm being honest.
Basically,
but you are right.
There's a pocket knife. Mike is able to finally reach it based on some maneuver and just sticks Bobby sticks Mike right in the neck and kills him. After saying his line, I'm a liar. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then Jason's, then Jason starts doing the lines that he used to teach Claire to use the bow so that she uses the bow properly.
He acts the shit out of this.
He does a real good job. Yeah.
He's too good for this movie, but also like this scene's almost too real for this movie in my mind. Like in juxtaposition of the last scene where we're talking about boners, it's a weird cut back and forth to like a very serious death scene where he's literally crying. He's got tears rolling down. This guy acts the shit out of it. Yeah. But it's just those two things in the same movie is weird. I don't pick one. You got to pick one of those two.
2 different movies.
Yeah.
So it gets her right in the eye, and then she ends up making one last move, and then Claire just like stomps her to death.
Curb stomps her, which was pretty intense. Yeah.
They go and they save Bobby. Actually, this is Jason pulls Bobby out, and then he's got a knife stuck in him, and Bobby like pulls out the knife.
Pulls the knife out.
And actually, I really like this one. Jason's like, "You're not supposed to do that.
It's very dangerous." Yeah.
And then he's like, "Tell them I died a hero's death." And then Jason's like, "I mean, it's really just a 2-inch wound. You're gonna be fine." And
you're gonna be fine.
The 2-inch wound was like, that's a really good line.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then Chris and Shannon do a "I don't love you, but let's make out anyways." And then
unneeded and doesn't really make a lot of sense.
And as the sun rises, Jason and Claire are there, and someone thanks someone for coming back, and then next year more responsibilities. And then he's like, "I'm kidding," and they kiss, but he's not kidding. He's coming back next year. Oh, he does a whole setup of how the camp could work even with all the murders.
And here's my problem is that they do write that off as a joke.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think he needs to be serious in that moment. Like, instead of them hooking up, this character is like, we can make this work. We'll do this, this, and this. And she's like, what the hell? That's the right ending for this movie, in my opinion.
Well, you see, that's what you're writing him as a real character. And where it's
it's a movie, Dan. He should have a real character.
No, but I mean, it would be really interesting if you did end it like that, where he's all like, and she's just like, just shut up and kisses,
right.
and he's,
what are you talking about?
Because it is really who he is. This camp is who he is, and he's
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Weird movie.
It's a weird movie. But again, I thought I was going to hate this movie. I didn't hate this movie.
How many squirts does it get, Tom?
You can't do that.
I can do whatever I want. It's my show.
You can't steal other people's things.
So,
I mean, again, no, you finish.
Well, this movie kind of puts us back in that classification that's happened to us 5 or 6 times on this show, starting, I think, with, what was the Wachowski's brother? What was that movie? The Cloud Atlas.
Yeah.
Where you watch a movie and it has a bunch of flaws, but you're there's some interesting things explored and some decent comedy that occurs, and you're like, and I thought the character work was really good top to bottom. Whether or not they were all in the same movie, you can complain about Finn, but everybody else, I think, did good work.
Yeah, no. And again, it's 90 minutes. Like, we're not here for 2 hours. I'm not feeling like I'm just drowning in this movie. It's quick. It's fun,
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
It smells like my wife is burning down the house.
Should you check? Just touch the floor, see if it's hot. I think that's how you do it.
It's the floor. Because the heat radiates right through the floor.
Right, that's how it works.
That's
right?
why they tell you to get down on the floor.
So because it's hotter there.
Keep you warm and you won't freeze up.
Fire safety.
I'm there for Finn's next writing and directing.
I'm
movie.
there for Billy Brick's next writing directing.
Is it BRICKS?
Nope, not at all. It's BRYK. I'm adding an S. I don't even know what I'm doing.
It could be Billy Break.
It could be a lot of things.
Break.
I don't know. Billy,
Break.
if you're out there, let me know. Break.
Break. Okay. Now we talk about something we liked. I've been watching some of the quintessential TV show, The Prisoner, Patrick McGowan's quintessential TV show. He did this show called Danger Man, where he played like a James Bondy kind of spy.
Okay.
For a couple of years, and then after he was done with that, they were like, "You want to make another show?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm going to play a thing where the powers that be kidnap me and want to get information out of me by putting me in this weird village." And every episode is this nightmare paranoid thing where they're trying to break his will.
What are we talking? What year is this?
1966 and 1967. It's an insane show. We used to, when we were kids, we watched it on PBS, and we're just like, what is happening?
What is this called?
The Prisoner.
The Prisoner.
And all the episodes are on Amazon with commercials, and it's pretty fun.
I'm gonna have to check it out at some point. That sounds interesting.
And it takes place in this weird little village called Point Marion, which looks...
Point Marion.
Do you know what that is? Oh, okay. It's this weird little village that looks like you can't even talk about it. You have to look it up. You'll just be like, "What is this place?" Like they're all these little shaped buildings and things, and giant chess. About? There's a giant chess set in the garden. It's like, cool. What is this place?
I love it.
Tony, tell us about what you've been digging out there.
Well, that's not what we're doing, Dan. We're taking a moment. We're going to take a moment of silence for the fallen. That is Suits LA has officially been canceled by NBC. Huge mistake. I think we can all agree that's a huge, huge mistake. Let me tell you why, Dan. Is the show good? Not really. Is it getting ratings? Probably not at all. I love Stephen Amell. And this guy can't catch a break.
Oh, poor baby.
Heels.
Oh, baby.
So hold on, though. He did Heels for 2 seasons, and that show is great. That show is genuinely a good show. It was well reviewed. People liked it. It didn't get a lot of viewership because it's on Stars. Nobody has Stars. Nobody gives a shit about Stars.
Nobody gives a shit about Stephen Amell. So that gets
canceled, and they give him this job that's supposed to be like a home run, like it's supposed, because it's coming off of Suits' giant boom in the pandemic. You're like, yeah, Suits LA will make a sequel that's going to make $1 billion. It's going to run for 5 seasons. They cancel it after 1. Now, the show's bad. I just want to reiterate that it's not a good show. But it's not his fault. And I think that the last few episodes, we have one more episode left before it's done forever. And I think the last 2 have been a little bit better. It's finally leaning into what it should have been the whole time, which is like a dramedy as opposed to just pretty much straight drama. Oh my goodness. Look how cute she is. Oh, hi, baby. I just think one more season would have been nice. Just one more, just to see if it could find its footing.
I watched this channel on YouTube called Legal Eagle. It's a guy that does...
it's a great name.
He's like a lawyer, and then he just talks about, lawyer stuff.
Sure.
He went through and talked about the first episode of Suits LA.
Oh, God. I need to find this. So I'm going to keep going, but I need to watch this.
And I watched that, and it was just like, the whole show doesn't make any sense. It just
especially in the beginning.
Make any sense.
I agree. Again, not a good show. It's poorly written. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you get past the first 8 episodes, like the last 2 have been pretty fun. I just think he started in a really weird, convoluted place for no reason.
You can see they're like, oh, we're at this firm, but everybody gets fired, and this other guy wants to leave. But we only have this one lady who's the pro bono lady, and she's like, go fuck yourselves. I'm the pro bono lady. I don't got to do what you tell me to do. You're just I
don't know any of this. I don't care.
Just introduce us to a stable thing that does a stable thing, and then mess with it.
That's the end of season 1, right? The end of season 1 is this merger where they cut him out, and you're like, oh shit, his best friend cut him out. If you do that in the first episode, we've never even met these people. I don't know that they're best friends. It doesn't make any. It's so bad. Now you're getting me on the other side of this thing. I think we should have renewed it for season 2. All right.
Nope.
It's a poorly written show. It's bad. He really messed it up. That's all. Sad day. That's all I want to say. I'm sorry, Steven. I hope you find something better.
Tony, who are the two brothers that are possibly the greatest? Who?
Hold on. What's happening?
Who is the greatest brother team writer-directors that have made hit after hit, critical darlings, but occasionally successful at the box office too, using some of the greatest actors and actresses of all time.
The Farrelly brothers.
Creating a spin-off headed by some other guy of a series of shows called Fargo that are all very interesting, except the one that was kind of weird. Maybe I'll go back and watch that one, but it's too weird. Who are those two brothers?
I don't like them.
But you know who they are.
Never been a fan. Never will be a fan. I mean, I liked Fargo, I guess, but I feel like that's kind of it. They did. What was the one?
Raising Arizona.
All right. No, we talk about Raising Arizona every time we talk about them. But yes, I liked Raising Arizona. It doesn't count. It was so long ago. It doesn't count. The Inside Llewyn Davis.
You like the Inside Llewyn Davis? Really?
I liked it because it made me very sad about my life. It spoke to me on a very deep level where he's like an aspiring artist that can't make shit.
He sucked like you. Mm.
Yeah, but he was talented. The difference is he was actually really talented and just couldn't make it work. And I just suck. You know what I mean? So there were parallels. What movie are we doing?
Well, what happened is, I don't know if they got sick of each other or whatever, but the one brother...
He went out on his own?
He went out on his own. And he put out a new movie there's a new movie coming out called Candy Don't, starring...
Candy Don't?
Candy, DON'. Candy Don't, I believe is what it's called. Which he co-wrote with somebody and I believe directed. But was starring Margaret Qualley. It's got some Aubrey Plaza in there and some man who has a big name, which I can't remember right now. Well,
I can't find this.
It's called Candy, C-A-N-D-Y, Don't, D-O-N, ', I believe. I think that's
I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it.
How can you not find that? It should just be
there.
I
wrote Candy Don't. Hold on. Which Coen brother is it? Is it Ethan or
Ethan Coen? Right. I believe it is.
All right. Let me just look it up on him.
It'd be pretty funny if I got the name completely wrong on that movie.
I don't see anything, Dan.
Are you sure
it's Ethan? Maybe it's Joel.
I think it's Ethan Coen. Maybe it is Joel Coen. I think it's Ethan Coen, though.
Hold on. I'm going to look them both up.
This is good.
Joel looks weirder. There's no way it's Joel.
Well, we're not doing that movie anyways, because it's not out yet.
Okay. Okay, all right, move on.
Before that movie, he did one called Drive Away Dolls, also starring Margaret Qualley.
It's called Honey Don't.
Oh, I thought it was Candy Don't.
Sorry, and I just wasn't even smart enough to read Honey Don't and realize that you were talking about that and not Candy Don't. But it is, in fact, Ethan Coen. Honey Don't is the movie. Continue. What were you saying?
Before that, he did a movie called Drive Away Dolls. That's the movie we're doing.
Okay, we're doing Drive Away Dolls. All right.
Oh, but the point is, I watched the trailer for Honey Don't.
Honey Don't.
And I was just like, this looks so terrible. And I'd heard that Drive Away Dolls did not do well and was not that well regarded. So I was like, why don't we give Tony a chance to look at a Coen brothers
just one of
movie?
them, yeah.
And we'll see if we can figure out what went wrong.
Well, first of all, the Coens were involved. And anyway, that's usually a bad sign.
Except the ones that you like.
I mean, I don't love them. You know, I'm not like, oh, these are great movies, but they're palatable. They're fine.
Didn't you ever watch the bowling one about the bowling? You know, John Goodman and the dude.
Yeah, the Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
We'll get a lot of. I do not like the Big Lebowski at all. I think he's great. Jeff Bridges is great.
Yeah.
In that movie. That movie sucks. I hate that movie. I think it's so dumb. Oh, let's have a heaven sequence. It's just the dream. It's all dumb. I hate everything about it. But I was gonna say, I think Todd made me watch a different movie they did. Right? I think Todd. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Tied you down and
Yeah, Tim Robbins was in it.
Hudsucker Proxy.
The Hudsucker Proxy, and I did like that movie. I did enjoy that. He made me watch it, and I enjoyed it.
Jennifer Jason Leigh. Well, boys, I don't know what you're doing.
It was very long time ago, so I don't think those count.
Okay.
It's like a statute of limitations, right? You know what I mean? Like if it's longer than 20 years ago, it doesn't count on your resume anymore.
Did you ever see the Rooster Cogburn movie with Jeff Bridges and
the Wild West one, True Grit or whatever? Grit. I hate that movie. That movie sucks.
You hate that movie?
Yeah, the kid's great.
She's amazing in that movie.
She's great.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
Doesn't mean I enjoy the movie.
But the thing about that movie is it's a incredibly faithful adaptation. So it's not. It's
sure. Yeah, I don't know.
If you hate it, you hate it. You hate the westernness as opposed to the Coen brothersness because.
I don't know if I like westerns in their own, because Wild Guns, is that what it's called? Emilio and his group. That's a great movie. But other than that, wow. Can't think of a western that I like genuinely enjoy. 3:10 to Yuma was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a remake also of a.
Oh sure, yes. Haven't seen the original. Yeah,
I've seen both.
Of course you have,
because I'm an American. So there it is.
And I'm proud to be an American.
We're going to do Drive Away Dolls, and we're going to try to understand me, a fan of the Coen brothers, you, not a fan of the Coen brothers, and what happens.
Hail Caesar, what a garbage movie.
I didn't care for that one. So we're gonna try to figure out what's going on with these new Coen-ish.
Coen-ish. I like Coen-ish.
Half the Coen brothers.
Semi-Coen? Oh, come on. A semi-Coen. That's pretty good.
That's actually a joke. Tony wrote a joke. took him an hour and a half, but he wrote one.
Well, I just got this information 8 minutes ago. It only took me 8 minutes to write it. All right.
If you like the show, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, or even subscribe, and we'll come back next week talking about Drive Away Dolls.
Goodbye, everybody.